Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing today? I did say I'm enjoying making these videos and I'm enjoying it even more as time goes by. I imagine my grandchildren watching them one day. I only have one granddaughter at the moment, but inshallah, I'll have a lot more. I imagine myself talking to them when I make these videos, like right now. I want to issue you with another challenge, and that is I want you to find an Islamic scholar whose main endeavor was developing war machines. Not even his main endeavor, or let's say half or a quarter of his academic contributions was in the line of developing something to make war with. Yes, Muslims developed swords and helmets and later on even chain mail. The trebuchet, that huge mechanical machine that was used to haul rocks at castle walls. The Muslims developed a trebuchet that could haul rocks faster and further than the existing ones at the time. And so obviously this is what happened when a trebuchet was captured and then developed and improved. But that is something reactionary. They reacted to um, a machine that was obviously used against them because the Muslims never developed, they never invented the trebuchet. They they developed it further, and obviously their one was captured by the enemy at some stage or other because eventually all the trebuchets were designed in that way. But if you look it up, then you'll find that it was the Muslims who developed the final form of the trebuchet. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about developing something in defense because in Islam, we are only allowed to fight in a jihad or declare jihad in defense if you are attacked, if your way of life is attacked, your society, women and children. And even after starting to fight, if the enemy withdraws or asks for peace, then you are supposed to stop fighting immediately. And it's because killing, even maiming, it's something that is frowned upon. So no one's going to accept you wanting to dedicate your life to developing war machines. And that's why you won't find anything like that. Now, consider that in terms of the way that Western societies work, or even Christian societies of old, with the Crusades and so on. Those societies are based on war. If you look at the modern Western society, the first thing is their military, the army, the air force, and the navy, land, air, and sea. That's what they start with. And the big corporations are the ones that develop around these uh, fighting forces, if you like. So you'll have the arms manufacturers, the tank manufacturers, aeroplane manufacturers, shipbuilders, and so on. And the commercial shipbuilders are is a separate entity. So the focus of the entire country is on war. And they say it's for defense, but often it's not used for defense. It's used for conquering and invading and enforcing their opinion. And I'm not only talking about the good old USA here, I'm talking about Western countries in general. I mean, even Australia does it, but we're not going there. So if you look at Western scholars, then we find that a lot of them devoted a lot, if not all their time, to developing weapons of war. And they are acclaimed for that. Look at Archimedes. He built a tank-like device that had swinging chains with spikes on. I mean, what did he intend doing with that? that was built for wars, meant to smash somebody into, bludgeon people to death over and over. Look at their most acclaimed scientist, the genius of all time, who lived and died in the 20th century, Albert Einstein, a German who had to run away from his own warlike country, Nazi Germany, and he ended up in the USA, where he laid the foundation for the development of the atomic bomb. A huge bomb that kills millions of people. Is that progress? I mean, think about it. People are so brainwashed. They just go along with, oh, Einstein is the genius. But think, why is he a genius? Think why. I mean, in Islam, geniuses are people who could quote you hadith on horseback without even thinking, because they know all the hadith. They were considered genius. A genius in the Muslim world is somebody who stopped wars from happening. A genius is somebody who made travel peaceful. Those are considered geniuses who discovered fields in mathematics, or made discoveries in astronomy, or in physics, or in optics, or in geography, or in chemistry. Those were geniuses. Or medicine. That's a genius, somebody who cures an ailment. And that's an injunction in the Quran. There are cures for every illness. That's what we're supposed to be looking for. Not finding ways to kill people by the millions. And, this aggressive nature of Western people and this aggression, it's something that they are proud of. And they use euphemisms, they use nice words like confidence. You have to be confident. All made up. Everything is like the opposite of religion. And I can understand why they would and why they have moved away from their church. I can understand that. In the late 19th and the early 20th century, they made a concerted effort to move away from the church. In fact, they divorced the church and the state. They separated the two. And up until today, the two operate apart from one another. So that is why the church and the Christian religion doesn't play a dominant role in Western society. And it's progressed to the point where everything about the Western world it's actually in opposition to Christianity. Look at the latest thing now with same-sex marriages. That is not in the Bible. That is not in any religion. That is not in any normal person's brain. But ask yourself, why is it that so many Western youngsters are growing up like that? Lesbian and homosexual, or whatever it's called. Why is it like that? And then you look at Western society and you see how it's all about ambiguity, about being doubtful, and about not being sure about everything, about right and wrong, about justice, about how you live, about religion, about God. And that ends up rubbing off about your own sexuality. And then you take all the pressure on young people to be sexual, to have a boyfriend, to who you're sleeping with. Doesn't matter that you're 10 years old. It's all about sex. So it must lead to confusion. I mean, what does a 12-year-old who gets pregnant know? What does she know? That is literally a child having a child. And even though I'm old, I'm not going to be so self-centered as to imagine that the world is going to end. But these are signs that are recorded, signs of us getting to the end of time. So more people need to think, because the majority of people don't think. They don't read, they don't inform themselves, they follow social media, they They go with the flow. They have got no idea what they're doing. And if you don't have a proper grounding, then you're just going to get blown in the wind and you're going to go with prevailing opinion. And there's a danger in that. So you need to read, you need to listen when you go to khutbahs, listen to what they say. Go early to Juma on a Friday and go and listen. It can only improve you. Inshallah. Salaam alaikum.